Jasmine Jones, and I'm a licensed clinical social worker, and you are now watching Black Girl, Therapist in the Wild, and this is a little show I like to call Therapist Sips and Reviews. Today we are reviewing Insecure Season 5, Episode 6, Tired, okay? And we are sipping on some ginger ale and vodka, yes. As you know, the alcohol tends to stay the same, but the juice has changed. So, it is what it is. I'm not an alcohol drinker, so whatever. Anyways, this episode, we're just going to jump right in. This episode is focusing on three main people, Molly, Issa, and Nathan. And it was really interesting because I had to rethink some things from the last episode and be like, yeah, you know what? Yeah. Okay, so let's get into it. So, we start the episode off in Issa's imagination land. That's how I see it now. It's her imagination land, and she's in the hospital still.
Condola Hayes?
Yes?
You can come back here.
Wait. And in this reiteration of how she would have done things if she had actually talked to Condola and Lawrence when she saw them in the hospital. She walks up to them and, the baby is there and she's just like, let's not be awkward, let's be great. And then she asked to hold the baby and, they were like, cool, yes, let's be great. And then she proceeds to pick the baby up, look at it cutely. And then she does the little throw the baby meme, fuck them kids. And she throws the baby and then she wakes up laughing. Well, not wakes up, but we see her in her apartment. She was daydreaming. This was all a daydream. So Lawrence is on her mind, feeling a type of way about Lawrence, feeling a type of way, not knowing if Lawrence is actually with Condola, which, from the episodes with Lawrence and Condola, well, the one episode with them, we saw they don't even really like each other, and Issa just be overthinking shit, and she could have had Lawrence if she wanted Lawrence, and that's her fault. And so, anyways, we then skip to Issa and Nathan fucking. And it is what it is. They're together, they're boyfriend and girlfriend and all this other stuff. But I will say that Nathan did call her his girlfriend. He initiated this whole tragedy. We're supposed to go slow, but you did call her your girlfriend. Yes, you initiated some shit. And then, so, if her mind runs away with the shit, well, sir, you initiated that shit in front of her mama. You initiated that shit in front of Tasha Mack. I just need you to recognize what you initiated here. So, yes, anyways, they're fucking, and she's just trying to get him to say that he loves her back. Yes, we're moving a little fast, Issa. Yes, Nathan is got issues too, and we've seen them fleshed out a little bit more in this episode, but it's still the same issues from like when we first met Nathan in season 1 or 2, one of them seasons where he came in. It's still the same issues, avoidance, things like that. And so she's trying to get him to say I love you because he said I love this pussy or something, and she was trying to say what else do you love, and he was just like, what? Just acting like he didn't know what the fuck she was talking about. Yes. Okay, sir. I know. You're gonna act dumb. He initiated, okay? With this whole, oh, we go together now thing. Both decided to go slow, but then he initiated that they went together. Yes, he started that train, and her mind took it and ran with it. Okay, you started it. You started it, sir. So, yes, he initiated this whole adventure times, okay? Then we get to see Nathan at his barbershop. Okay, so apparently he doesn't own the barbershop. He just rents a chair there. See, y'all, Issa owns her own business that appears to be growing, and this is what I meant when, financial stability in a relationship is important. But, we haven't even come up with that as an issue yet. That's not even the issue in this episode. I just want to reiterate. Because I thought he owned that barbershop. I was like, oh, he owned his own little barbershop. He could grow that. He could be a celebrity barber. He could be, honey. And so there is another barber there that rents a chair. And apparently he's a celebrity barber and he does hair and all this other shit. But he's also always late, steals other people's lunches, and all sorts of hood ratchet foolery. Yes. Because he does celebrities' hair, he feels entitled to do whatever the fuck he wants to do, come in there whenever the fuck he wants to come in. But he also has some clients there that have been waiting there for 45 minutes. I'm not waiting at the hair, but I stopped going to the hair salon a while ago. I may go to get my hair, you know, braided or twisted for a trip or something, but that's about it. And so 45 minutes and your hairstylist isn't even there. You've just been sitting there waiting, hoping, in the hopes that your hairstylist would come in. Go off, sis. Go the fuck home. So he offers to cut one of the dude's clients, and of course, I guess that's a faux pas in hair cuttery land or whatever. But it's like you're 45 minutes late. You have 2, maybe 3 people here waiting for you, sir. Nobody knows where you're at, when you're gonna be in. Everyone's complaining. Take note that everyone in the barbershop is complaining about this nigga. Everyone, when he's not around. So everyone is in accord that this nigga, but then they keep him there because he brings in celebrities, which brings in money to the other barbers if the celebrities have friends or whatever that want to get their hair cut. So they're all being pussies about saying anything to him because they want that scratch. And so Nathan's the only one that has the balls to say some shit eventually later on in the episode. After this little scene, because the hairstylist never came and Nathan ended up doing his customer's hair, we see Issa is in the hospital, you know, just standing in for Molly. She bringing the family food and taking care of them. Molly is at her retreat and she is stressed, girl. She is just stressed about her mommy. She's stressed about her family, as she should be, while also trying to take on doing work, doing it all, being the bad bitch. And it's like, girl, if you don't call out and go see about your mama, because you cannot concentrate right now. But it is what it is. So she's constantly checking her phone and stuff, and she's sitting at the little bar at the hotel with her coworkers, and they're just looking at her like, are you busy? Tyran, whatever his name is, you know, asking her if she's busy, and, you know, is she doing work right now? She's like, no, I'm just taking a group picture. So she's trying to like play it off and stuff. Torian. I think his name is Torian. Yes, names, not me. After we see just a little glimpse of Molly at the bar, they playing this game about like, what did we think when we first met each other? And they said that they thought Molly was some bougie bitch because she kept complaining about everything. There wasn't a latte machine. It wasn't the same shit that was at the white people, you know, law firm and shit like that. And they were just like, yeah, we wasn't really feeling all the bouginess. We go to Issa. She's going around because she's going to do this black art night, you know, like the art street that they do in LA, and I think they do it in Orange County, where they have like an art night where you can walk down the street and different artists will be, you know, located on the street. I forgot what it's called. Art walk. There you go. She was trying to do a black art walk. And so she's trying to scope out talent for it, you know, some local artists to come to her black art walk. And so she goes to this like t-shirt shop. I guess they do designs and things like that. And so she wanted to see if they would want to be vendors and show off their art and things like that. And at first they were about it. They were about it. Yes. And and then one of the dudes was like, what's the name of your company again? And so she said, it's The Block.
The Block? Where I know y'all from?
Y'all did that museum shit with Crenshaw, right?
Yeah, that's right.
They were like, oh, weren't you that company that did that show for Crenshaw? And, you know, she was like, oh, yeah, our name's getting around. You've heard of us. She thought there was praise, but it wasn't. And then all of a sudden they pulled out and said they didn't want to do it. They would think about it. Or some shit like that. I don't know. So apparently Crenshaw's shadiness has gotten around to the neighborhoods. And people don't want to work with Issa or The Block, or at least this little store doesn't want to work with Issa or The Block. Yes. I'm sorry. I am on Issa's side with this, and let me know whose side are you on. I'm on Issa's side when it comes to Issa versus Crenshaw. I feel like Crenshaw's being a bitch because when Issa finally does go and talk to him, he's just like, you put your bag over my art, da 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 da. And it's like, my nigga, your art is what makes you money. This show, these events and things is what makes Issa money. This is business, sir. You can't want to get famous. This is a white man's world. End of the day, if you start at the bottom, you have to work your way to the top. And a lot of times you're going to have to be dipping and dodging around white folks and what they want in their structures and everything. So if it hadn't worked out for Issa, your show got fucked up and everybody didn't like it, or people was talking shit, and the company pulled out and they didn't give her 2 or 3 more shows, then would you be trying to get, who's gonna pay her bills? Who's gonna, you just ruined, this was like her foot in the door to a big company wanting her to do events for them. Who's gonna pay her fucking bills? If they didn't like that shit and they pulled out and they didn't offer her a damn thing and didn't pay her any money, then what? She would have to start over from scratch, and you would just be like, well, you know, art, like art, nigga. If you don't get the fuck, you gotta get to a certain level when you working in the white man's lane before you can do your own shit. You can do your own shit underground, on YouTube, on TikTok, but when you really want to make that real money, that white man money, you got to play the game. I'm sorry, it's business. It is what it is. It's business. And so, yes, she went along with what the company wanted because the company hired her to do a job. And so she booked artists for that job that she thought would be great for the community and things like that. And because the company has some shit to say about the way the artists presented themselves, then she said, okay, well, let me retool some things so that the people that are paying all of us the monies to be here can be happy. No, it's not right. No, it's not necessarily okay. But what is the alternative to getting the monies? Let me know. Who was going to pay Issa if that shit fell apart? Who was going to boost up her ratings and her stuff if that shit fell apart? Because this company is paying her for events. Where before, she was just going around creating events with the neighborhood folks and just doing the thing. This company paid her to do events. This company that has money. That is a whole other level than just doing neighborhood things for the neighborhood. You know, and so you can take some of the money that you made from the company and do even more neighborhood things for the neighborhood, and also involve some of the neighborhood people in the other things that the company wants to do as well. But at the end of the day, you bitching and complaining because the company that's paying you to be here wants you to do certain things and take away certain things. Like I see where you wouldn't want to do that. Where you wouldn't want to, you know, mess up your artistic, you know, vibes or whatever. But at the end of the day, you don't have to compromise. Like, did he even try to, he didn't even try to talk to the heads of the company. The people that were like talking to Issa, he didn't even like try to ask if he could talk to them and be like, well, can I pitch my vision to them directly? Now, if he had did that and she had shut him down, then I would be like, that's fucked up. Like, he wanted to at least try to talk to those people and see if he could pitch his vision from his own mouth and let them know how he felt about the things. But no, he didn't even do that. He just went behind her back and did that shit, and then just, if you lose a bag, you lose a bag, bitch. Like, and then he got the audacity to go on Instagram and then go and tarnish her fucking name because that's her fucking business. Like, no, nigga, I would never work with him again. He's a loose cannon and he's unprofessional. I don't care, because the next show he could have did his shit. The next show after that, he could have did his shit. This first show, though, they wanted to see what he had, and then they would loosen the leash and give him more, you know, and that sounds fucked up to say leash, but it is what it's a white man's world. And business is based off of, corporate is based off of white supremacy, people being higher than you, segregation of different levels of employees, can't talk about how much you make, and yes, we want to break that system. But one person trying to get up in the world is not going to break this whole system all at once, okay? First, you got to get up there to break the fucking system. First, you got to get enough money to break the fucking system. You got to build before you can break, bitch. What the fuck? I'm sorry. It bothered me. It bothered me. Don't fuck with my money. Don't fuck with my money and then act like my money's not important, okay? Like my livelihood's on it. This bitch is driving Lyft and doing events on the side. she's tired all the fucking time, and you're mad because she finally got a contract with a company that was paying her bank, and they wanted to take some shit out because they were scared of black people, and it's fucked up, but that's what business is with white people. So either you're going to start somewhere or you're going to end up nowhere, because fuck all that. And the thing is that he's a designer. So at the end of the day, he's an artist. He can do whatever the fuck he wants to do. He could go and start marketing his shit on TikTok, Etsy, YouTube, just putting his shit out there in the neighborhood. And he probably will grow into a big ass business, you know. But Issa is over here starting from scratch. She's starting from the bottom, trying to get people and companies to like her enough to fall into her events and shit. You know what? I'm ranting. I don't care. I don't care. Shit pissed me the fuck off. This nigga came up here and said, I don't care about your bag. Fuck your bag, bitch. My bag was your bag too, because they paid you to be up there too, nigga. Yes. That made me angry. So Molly, you know, had a glorious night drinking with her coworkers and having fun and playing games and whatever. Wakes up the next day and there's a watch in her bed and she's hungover and she doesn't know what's happening. So she thinks that she slept with somebody, but she doesn't know who because it's a man's watch. So she goes downstairs and this cute little like light blue, you know, sweatsuit situation. It was wonderful. I loved it.
A watch on the ground in the hallway. I was wondering if anyone knew who it belonged to.
She always can dress. She can dress, honey. And she goes and sits down at the table, and she just like obvious, but trying to not be obvious, but obvious, talking about, so I found this watch on the floor, not by my door, not by the other doors, down the by where everyone else is sleeping. And I was just curious, does this watch belong to anybody? I mean, it's obvious, girl. They was just looking at her like, and then of course it was Torian's, and she was like, we didn't, you know, and he was like, no, you don't remember? And then they showed her this video. She over there acting a fool drunk, backing it up on Torian, doing all the extras. It was amazing. It was Molly being Molly, and it was magical, and I loved it. And I loved that she was able to just be herself and be fabulous and glorious and wonderful. Yes. And then after that scene, we see Issa at Crenshaw, and I already went through that, so no. Fuck that nigga. She even bought him brownies. Fuck him. Fuck him. He doesn't get brownies. He doesn't get anything. And she apologizes. I wouldn't apologize to that nigga. I wouldn't even went up to that nigga's place. Fuck him. She'll find other artists. There's other people. Shit. Fuck him. I would have been like, nigga, are you crazy? What's wrong with you? Why would you? Oh, gosh, he pissed me fuck off. He ain't even attractive to me like that. He just looked like this little scrawny nigga. So it's making me even more angry because he's not even that attractive. So it's just like, He's not attractive to me. Everyone has their own tastes and likes and their own attractions and things. And it wasn't me. Wasn't for me. Okay, that's all I'm saying. It's probably for yous, but it's not for me. So it pisses me off because not only is he unattractive to me, but then he has the audacity to be an asshole. Let me go back to Nathan at the shop. I keep saying his shop. He rents a chair at the shop. And here comes old famous, you know, barber coming in late as per usual, and I guess it's about rent.
You don't touch another barber's head. That's just some shit you don't do.
I was trying to help your ass out so you and the shop ain't losing.
It's time to pay their little chair rent and stuff like that. And the dude is all like, well, Nathan can pay mine because he taking my customers. And Nathan's just like, well, I mean, he was sitting here for 45 minutes. We didn't even know if you was going to come in. And he was all like, well, that's, you know, going against barbershop code. And he was just like, so you're just supposed to let your customers sit here, and then if you don't come, just let them just walk out? Like, sir, what are you talking about? And he was just getting mad. Be professional. It don't matter how high up you get, how successful you get. Treat people with respect. Respect people's time. You know, that's why people complain a lot about black businesses, because a lot of times, and I don't don't even think it's black businesses. I just think it's bad business, you know, when people got attitudes and when people don't want to be professional, when people don't want to be on time with their shit. You know, that's not just a black thing. I've been to businesses where they do the exact same shit. White businesses, Asian businesses, all the businesses by different people color. And it's about having respect for other people. And if you are a person that doesn't have respect for other people or their time, especially as you make more money and you feel entitled because you're making money, then you're a fucked up individual. And you know, Nathan called him out. He was just like, man, you late all the time. Like, I don't understand what the problem is. And this dude just goes off on some like rant, trying to gaslight Nathan, talking about, see, everything been different since you came in and everything changed and you crazy and you bipolar and shit. And I'm just like, this is hella fucked up, because all y'all niggas was mad at this nigga. Why is Nathan the only one saying anything? And then why is no one defending Nathan if y'all all agree with Nathan? Shady motherfuckers. Shady motherfuckers. Shady motherfuckers. It's fucking shady. It's like, okay, so y'all ain't gonna have my back if there's money involved. That's good to know. I need to know that no matter how much money is involved, no matter what happens, you're gonna have my back. That's called trust. Think of your child. You wouldn't sell your child for like $1 billion, would you? Your child's supposed to be priceless, right? That's the type of trust you have with family. This type of trust you have with close friends. Now, maybe Nathan shouldn't be trusting every fucking body and expecting them to treat him the same way as family would treat him. But then family kicked him out of their house and shit and lied on their fucking wife about it. So maybe Nathan doesn't have a good idea of what trust looks like. So that's a therapy thing. You know, I'm questioning if he's in therapy at this. Because he just keeps making the same decisions and choices. And I'm just like, are you really? Maybe he just takes meds. Some people, like with bipolar and shit that like you might actually need medication for, they just be taking the meds and they don't be going to therapy or nothing. They just be like, well, you know, I no longer have as many manic episodes and they're not as intense. I no longer see the flying bunny rabbits and things and stuff that I was seeing or hearing or feeling on my skin. So I'm fixed. But no, you need to like go to therapy to work through the trauma of experiencing all that for most of your life and probably not even knowing what it was for most of your life. Thought it was normal. Thought it was like you having premonitions and visions and shit. And I believe in premonitions and visions, but I know the difference usually between a premonition and vision, and you might be schizophrenic. You might be bipolar, sweetie. No. God didn't tell you to run out into the middle of the street and get hit by a car. That wasn't Jesus, girl. But, you know, sometimes that happens. And basically, you're going to end up banging your head up against the wall so many times until you get tired of it and then say, I might need to go talk to a professional about, you know, the things that keep happening in my life that are upsetting for me. So then we get back to Molly at her retreat. She's doing her presentation with Torian, and then her brother texts her. He texts her like twice, I think. Maybe more than that, but they didn't show any more than 2 times or whatever. And she's like trying to do the presentation, but she's looking at her phone, because she was like, what if mommy died? What if she's sunken deeper into the coma? And, you know, all the scary thought that runs through your head when a family member, especially a parent, is sick in the hospital and you don't know what the fuck is going on and you're waiting for that text message or phone call that says that they're dead. So she's trying to do this presentation. Torian's over there holding it up for her, just doing all of it for her. And then later on they're at the bar drinking and he's like, well, I just carried that shit for you. What's going on? And she was just like, she told him what happened. Communication. It's okay to communicate with people that show you on a consistent basis that they're decent people, that what's going on in your life that's especially at work, that's limiting you from doing your job. Okay? It's okay to tell your supervisor that. It's okay to tell a coworker that. It's okay to say what's actually going on so people can understand. You know, it's not weakness to say like my mom had a stroke and she's in a coma and that's why I can't get my work done like I want to. You ain't gotta tell everybody in the office, although if you do tell one coworker, then maybe other coworkers might find out because people gossip and that's sad. But yes. But at least tell your supervisor. Tell people that matters that can make, decisions about, time off and leave and sick leave and all this other stuff. So he tells Torian. Torian's like, oh, that's horrible. You should have said something. And he was like, we're the same. So we're getting like little, like, they could probably fuck eventually. They might actually like each other vibes from this whole little like retreat situation. And I like Torian for her. He's a lawyer. She's a lawyer. I don't like that they work at the same job because I feel like that's always been my rule. I'm not fucking dating anybody that works in the same building as me because I refuse to be embarrassed at work if we get into an argument. I'm not going to have an argument with you outside in the parking lot. I'm not going to have my car scratched up in front of all my coworkers. I'm not going to do lovey-dovey things. Ooh, excuse me. In the office where we're supposed to be professional, it's just two worlds that I don't need to see you every fucking day. 24/7. Okay, I go to work. I can get away for a reason. I don't need to see you all the time. But you know what? I like Torian for Molly so far, but then I said I like Nathan for Issa and then realized Nathan has some issues still. So yeah, they're getting a little cutesy. So apparently Torian's last year when he was on some case, his brother was going through cancer treatments, and so he was all freaked out and all this other stuff internally, but externally he was just acting the same to everybody, so nobody knew. And it's like, it's hard to do. Go to work every day, act like everything's normal and your loved one's sick or dying or got some shit going on, and that's hard to do. I mean, I've done it before, but it's difficult. That's why I know it's difficult to fucking do. Act like nothing is fucking wrong and you're just perfectly fine, and because you just don't want to have these conversations with these people that you don't know like that. Like, you know them as work friends. And there's nothing wrong with having work friends. Sometimes one or two work friends can graduate into outside of work friends, depending on what they show you and the hierarchy that they have in your company. Because I highly hesitate in making a supervisor my friend. Mentor maybe, but friend, I don't know, because people get petty, and when you're not in the workplace and you don't work together, pettiness in a friendship can, it's a silent treatment or some shit, and then eventually y'all talking and you squash it. Pettiness at work, especially if somebody is over you, looks like you getting extra work all the time, or you getting talked down to for no reason in front of everybody at the meetings and stuff like that, and it's like, no. See, no. You're supposed to be an adult too. You're supposed to be able to separate this shit too, and you can't. Honey child, I'm not doing that. I'm not. Because I've seen and heard too many bullshit stories about having best friends in the workplace, and then one's a supervisor and one's an employee, and then all of a sudden they fall out and the supervisor is just riding that motherfucker's ass until they quit. But sometimes it can work for, I'm sure, some people out there. There's outliers. There's no such thing as perfect, all or nothing. So, it probably works for some people. It's not me, though. It's not for me. So then we go back to Issa in her imagination land. She is at like some taco spot, taco truck, something like that. And Condola walks up behind her. Of course, it's imagination land because the bitch wearing the same outfit she was wearing in the hospital and everything. So Condola's like, oh, I won and Lawrence is mine and you gave him up and he bought me a fucking ring and all this other shit and you lost. And Issa just like, you know what, bitch, fuck you. And then Issa starting to walk away and this bitch gonna roundhouse kick her in the face. And my thing is, like, is she right? She ain't lying. I don't care if it's your subconscious telling you fucked up. Because that nigga wasn't with her. That nigga wasn't with her. He didn't cheat on you with her to have a baby. None of that shit happened. You became impulsive and you said, oh no, you having a baby with, automatically your mind went to marriage, family. Like that, what? They don't like each other. From what I've seen so far, they still don't like each other. We ain't seen them again since that one episode, but still, I believe in my spirit that they still don't like each other. And I believe in my spirit, now that Nathan has shown his true colors, that Lawrence is back in play. Okay, I said. And she sat on the phone and she's snooping on his fucking Instagram and sees that he moved back down here. So see, yes, he moved back down here. Of course she's thinking, oh, he moved back down here, he's gonna be with me, or he's gonna be with Condola, and they're married and stuff. That's why he moved back down here. No, bitch, they don't like each other. They're just talking for this child here. Okay? Okay. Swoop back over to the hotel. Molly is in her hotel room, and her brother just FaceTimes her, and her mom woke up. She's not verbal yet, but you know, in her eyes and her smile, she could see that she recognizes Molly, and you know, things like that. So Molly's about to fly back down the next morning. Torian comes and knocks on her door with a grab bag that she didn't get. He's giving her a grab bag. Girl, if y'all don't fuck. She opened it, but I think they actually like each other. That's why it's awkward. And so she opens the door. She like just hugs him because she's just so excited. Her mom's happy, and he's the first person that she sees. So all that emotion goes into hugging him. So she hugs him and then pulls back, and you know, they do that little pause where they meet each other's eyes, and you think they're about to kiss, and then she, you know, he just said something, I don't know what he said, backs off, and then they start talking about the mugs in the bag, how they like mugs and mugs. This fucking cup. I guess they're just trying to completely just get away from whatever tension they just experienced, romantic tension. I like her. I like him for her. I mean, he seemed like a decent dude. Like, I like him for her. I don't know. This feels like I don't know this nigga like that. They don't show him that often. They show him in little clips here and there. Like, that could be her future husband for all I know. Who the fuck knows? Okay. Okay, and then we go to the piece de resistance of this episode is Nathan and Issa in her house, or in his house, in one of their houses. I think it's in her house, in her apartment. And Nathan is just like, oh, everybody at the barbershop is, so no, let's break this shit down. Issa comes in and she got like a little attitude or whatever, and he's like, what's wrong? And she's like, just some stuff at work. So she still hasn't told him about Crenshaw and this nigga harassing her and this nigga going around talking shit about her. Like, she has, this nigga is basically a stalker. And she ain't said shit to this nigga. This nigga ain't even asked her. This is like the second, third time that she said that she has some issues at work. Hasn't asked her once, as far as I've seen, about what her issues are at work. But she should have told him, of course. But he's talking about his work, so we just skip over her issues at work, and he's talking about his work and how he doesn't trust people at the barbershop. Valid. You ain't supposed to be making your coworkers your best friend, honey bunches. I mean, you can if you want to, but a lot of times it turns out like what happened with Nathan. You ain't supposed to be making your coworkers your best friend. And so he was like, and I don't trust them, and then I think I'm gonna leave the barbershop, and he's like, maybe LA's not for me. Huh? You just called this bitch your girlfriend, sir. Let's back up. How you gonna say this to the bitch that you just claimed as your girlfriend, and then act like, oh, because these people were mean to me and hurt my feelings. I just have to pack up and leave Los Angeles forever. Los Angeles forever. Because my feelings were, you bitch, man. I'm gonna leave my job. This man is a nomad. He just picks up and leaves, just like he disappeared because he had a manic episode that one season and she didn't know where the fuck he was. He wasn't picking up the phone, and she ended up dumping his ass. So those issues haven't been resolved. He is a runner. He's a runner. He's a track star. Yes. He runs at the first sign of uncomfortability. And I'm learning a lot about, I've had multiple clients talk about shit like this, just especially male clients, because we do not, in many cultures, allow our boys to cry and process through their emotions. They can develop a phobia of any emotional pain. And so instead of dealing with it, they will do things like distract themselves with sex and money and video games and random shit, and anything that reminds them of the emotional pain that they've experienced in their life. They try to stay as far away from it as possible. It can be a conscious thing, a subconscious thing, or both. And I am just appalled at that concept that, because it's so many men that act this way, and I just feel like so many men are avoidant attachments and they cannot handle any type of emotional pain. Honey bunches, how do you survive out in the world that constantly throws emotional pain at you? You can only run so far. You can only hide so much. Eventually some shit's gonna happen. Like, don't care about people. Don't have empathy for people, because then the shit's gonna be happening to the people you care about while you're just like off traveling the world, acting like these people don't exist, and then coming back and being shocked and appalled that all these bad things happen to. Wow. Just feeling totally disconnected from all, and I'm just like, this shit is amazing. This is amazing. Please, males, black men particularly, go to therapy, work through that shit. Stop being afraid of fucking pain, bitch. That's what life is about, is pain and pleasure. And then in the middle, the sweet spot is being content. Sometimes bad things are gonna happen to me, sometimes really great things are gonna happen to me, but in the middle, I'm just chilling with that thought. I don't mind that those things are going to happen, because I know I'm going to get through the bad things no matter what. And I know the good things are going to feel even more good, because I'm not allowing, you know, the fears and anxiety of the bad things to overcrowd my mind. I can really enjoy the good things instead of questioning the good things when they come. Bitch. So this is what we're seeing here with Nathan. He is a runner. He's a track star. He is an athlete. And I just need to get his life together. And you know what? He had something valid to say, because he basically was just like, Issa, you're all over the place. First you want to like you cry into my mouth and you don't want me, and then you do want me, and then you want to take things slow, and then you want to say that you love me. Because she was just like, how you gonna say some shit like that to me? I'm standing right here in your face where we're together. You know, I said I love you. You haven't said it back. He was just like, why are you being, and he was a little gaslighty. Like, why are you being so emotional? Some shit like that. And I was just like, sir, who asked who to be whose girlfriend? Before she even said anything about love. Who asked who? Yes, she needs to work on that, because just because someone, you was dating for like a few days, girl. You just lonely. You just miss Lawrence. He's not there, so you just taking what's next. I feel it in my spirit. Yes. And so, ma'am, you are moving too fucking fast just because you're lonely and you want a healing balm. It's not him, or he's not there yet. Okay. It could be him if he was there, but he still got the same issues he had. And then she just accepts it in the end, and she just squashes it. She's like, well, let's just forget about it. So neither of them have worked through. So neither of them are in therapy. Neither of them are willing to work through or talk about this, because they don't know how to. But he initiated the shit too. Like, when you initiate. He was there for her at the hospital. He kept saying, if you need me, I'll be here. Kept saying it like he didn't have that runner track star spirit. And then he said in front of her mama that that's his fucking girl. Bitch. This bitch got issues. She got abandonment issues. She's sad and shit. That's like you feeding her fucking gold. That's diamonds and shit. Nigga, like, that's like, oh, finally. Because that face she was making when she was looking all awkward because she wasn't sure, like, if she should accept some of the shit that he was doing for her. Y'all. See, I can't bash Issa for moving too fast. I mean, I can, but I can't. Because it's like a thin line between love and hate. When she kept warning that nigga to stop saying all them nice things if he didn't mean it, and telling him that he could leave, and anytime he wanted to, he kept doing it, kept telling him like, hey, you don't have to, you know, it's cool, like, let's just and he was just like, no, roses, horses in the woods, magic, flowers everywhere. It's like, girl, it's one thing to be nice, it's another thing to keep saying over and over again that you're there if they need you. Don't do that knowing that you are a track star. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't add the extras. It's one thing to give a ride to the hospital, but you don't have to add the extras and say all this other shit. See, I wanted to believe in Nathan, but he made me also forget for a split second that he is avoidant, and that shit ain't gone, because we forgot about that because we thought through all these seasons after that he had been working on his fucking self, because we only saw him sparingly though as the nice guy that came around and said nice things and did nice things. But once we get all up in his ass and in his life, we see that he, at the root of it all, is still the same nigga that left her for over a week or so or whatever and didn't say shit to her. That's why you have to look at patterns, y'all. You have to look at patterns. Because this nigga has a pattern of just disappearing and exiting out of people's lives like it's nothing when he gets too overwhelmed or scared about some shit. Girl. And then he started making all those nice promises and saying nice things. And, you know, we all fell for it. We all were bamboozled. I feel like we all were. I was. I was like, oh, that's so nice that he said that he needed, that he would be there if she needed, and that she should stop, you know, telling him to stop doing stuff because he's there. He's there for her. And then to top it off, called her his girlfriend in front of her mama. Girl, so you gotta make the connections. First we had Lawrence with the essence of a deadbeat dad. I hate this bitch and she's connected to this child, so I don't recognize this child until the child is fucking born. I'm not gonna call this bitch, see how the pregnancy's going. I'm not gonna go to any hospital appointment she goes to. She doesn't exist for me till the child is fucking born, bitch. And now we got this nigga Nathan over here making promises and making us forget that he ain't shit. And I believed it. I was like, he's such a nice guy. He just has like a financial issue. No, girl. And I was just like, Lawrence still has issues and he can't be a good baby daddy. And he worked on that issue and he moved down here. Oh, he made moves. He said, I'm moving down here with my son. I'm going to be with my son. I'm sorry. He apologized. I'm sorry for being an asshole and having the essence of a deadbeat. You know, I'm here. I'm doing this. We're doing this together. He fixed it immediately. I'm so upset right now. Every time, I just, So you just can't go with nice words and pretty gestures. That's not the whole package. Because we barely saw Nathan throughout these seasons after he just dipped on E-Fish. And now he got the audacity to act like she crazy because she said, I love you. And then he gonna be like, well, you're just moving so fast, bitch. Who moved fast first though? Nigga, you kept saying if you need me, I'll be here. And then you gonna come into the apartment talking about, I just don't. First of all, you didn't acknowledge that she had a bad day at work too. She had some shit going on too. You didn't ask her like what's going on with her job. She's being fucking stalked by some crazy person. And then the audacity to be like, I think that I'm just gonna leave LA. Saying this to her face, like her emotions and shit don't matter. Like, nigga, what's happening? You don't understand what she's going, why this would bother her? Why this would, and he was mad because, oh, you just don't care about what's happening with me. My nigga, you didn't ask her about her day? Why the fuck should she care about your day? I hate these niggas. Every single one of them got fucking issues. I need y'all to fix yourselves, you know, because I am not entertaining these types of conversations. Soon as he said that bullfuckery, I would have been like, you know what? I'm sensing abandonment. It smells like ghosting. So, since that is what I am sensing, I'm going to give you a chance to explain yourself. You know, because I'm a nice person. So explain why I'm sensing this. Okay, so more gaslighting and bullfuckery about me being emotional. Okay, you can get the fuck about my house. Get out of my apartment. gave you a chance to explain yourself. You could have apologized like Lawrence did. Could have owned up to it like you did. Did you know? No, because you have an avoidant attachment because people keep calling you crazy and stuff because you keep doing fuck shit and messing up people's property and, you know, leaving doors open at midnight for anybody to come into the house and kill everybody. Like, I'm not saying his cousin didn't have valid reasons. I just think his cousin is trash for putting it on his wife. Bitch, you ain't shit either. Now his wife coming around, everybody looking at her stank face. Bitch, you ain't shit. Fuck you. People at the barbershop ain't shit neither. No, they a little bit of dollar, a little bit of change. What you gonna do for me if I throw some money at you? That's them type of people. I ain't got time for that. They didn't stand up for him once. And then he has a succession of people that are untrustworthy, so he doesn't trust people. Go therapy. I have no sympathy because you can't just do all that nice shit for Issa and then look at her crazy because she just upped and jumped the gun and said she loved you. And I can kind of see why she would jump the gun too, because they've known each other for so long. They've gotten to know each other enough to where, you know, they've known each other for like maybe 4 seasons. I think they came around 2nd season maybe. They've known each other enough for them to like, okay, we've known each other long enough for you to love me back. Maybe we had not been together that long of a time, but we've known each other enough for you to love me back, and you haven't said it. So I can even see that. You know what? Fuck Nathan. you know, fuck that nigga. Fuck him. I'll say it. Care if y'all like that nigga. He got a cute voice. That's it. No, he's balding. You know. Let me stop, because that's a real person. That's an actor, and I need to stop. That's a real person. I can't be talking about how he looked like that, because that's a real person. But you know, fuck Nathan. He ain't shit. You know, so I broke it down for y'all. Why she would say I love you. I broke it down. He was saying all that nice shit and talking about if you need me, I'll be here, and doing all that nice shit. Called her his girlfriend in front of her mama. They've known each other all these years, so long enough to know whether or not they would fall in love with each other or not. So she jumped the gun and said some shit, okay? And she's expecting him to say it back because he did all that nice shit in the beginning and was impulsive. And now he's looking at her like she's crazy, doesn't care about her job, doesn't care about anything, and but himself and the things that he's going through. Say what I said. And then, you know, he hasn't changed much. When he's scared or in pain emotionally, he avoids, he runs, he's a track star. So that has not gone away. We're just waiting for when he gets overwhelmed and just dips on her and she never hears from him again for like another 3 or 4 months. Then he comes back at midnight talking about, I'm sorry, I was having a manic episode and it was a depressive episode and I just couldn't be around. So I went like to Arizona and stayed in a cave just to decompress for 3 months. And I didn't tell anybody, and I didn't tell you, even though I called you my girlfriend. I feel in my spirit that that's that type of nigga, and I can't. Lawrence apologized immediately. He moved down here immediately to be next to his son and see his son and go to the hospital with his son. He worked it out with Condola so they can co-parent together immediately. This nigga is over here complaining, saying that this bitch is being emotional. I'm tired. He's gaslighting her. Fuck Nathan. I'm done. I called him a nice person. I was rooting for him. See, I root for niggas that show consistency and kindness. But nope, I forgot. He made us forget that he's an avoidant track star, and I can't root for them type of niggas. So yes, this is my review. Let me know what you think. If you did disagree with me, please disagree kindly. Don't disagree and be an asshole, please. I don't feel like it. This is not my season. I am tired. I am overwhelmed. This is not my season. And I might be impulsive and snap and say some shit and then delete and block everybody. Please be kind. Let's just have a debate. I like debates. Debates are fun. We can talk about how I feel and how you feel, and then if we don't agree, we can just agree to disagree, and it's a nice ending there. It's fine. As long as it's not about racism and phobias and isms, then we can agree to disagree. Let me put that in there because people out here talking about let's just agree to disagree about these niggers. No. No. I will cut you. Get out of my face. Oh, I'm burping. So yes, I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you have a lovely whatever time it is there. And yes, later days.